stadium court for the first time from the Philippines. Please welcome Alexandra Eala.
Well, what an incredible, life-changing fortnight it has been for Alexandra Eala. She's taken down 2 Grand Slam champions, and she hopes to try and take down another this afternoon here at the Miami Open. The first ever Filipino to make a quarterfinal at WTA Tour level. Can she make a semi-final?
And here from Poland, please welcome Iga Swiatek.
To do that, she's got to try and stop a 5-time Grand Slam champion in Iga Swiatek. It's been a battle for the Pole to make it through to the quarterfinal, but it is a 5th straight quarterfinal this year. But she's not been able to go on and claim a title so far in 2025. Is this going to be her week? Well, to help me answer that question as well as many more, Pippa Horn is alongside myself, Peter. Just how are you doing, Pippa? Looking forward to this quarterfinal day?
Very much looking forward to it. And you know what? It's a bit of a full circle moment for Alex Eala, isn't it? Because she's playing someone who she massively looks up to, who was present when she graduated from the Rafa Nadal Academy. And today, in my view, is really going to be a case of, does she believe? And we've had a listen to her post-match interviews. Belief is something that she had in abundance against Ostapenko, against Madison Keys. I loved how she walked onto court as well. She was a woman of confidence, wasn't she? Strutting her stuff.
And I think you've stolen something there, because the full circle line was actually something she said.
Yeah.
Because she had said very much not only to do with the Rafa Nadal Academy, she actually was talking about here in Miami. This is where she made her debut in the qualifying back in 2021. Yet here she is. This is the tournament that really has lit the touch paper for her, announced herself to the tennis world. For those who don't follow junior tennis, she's a very good junior player.
So we are playing with same condition as in previous match. We still have the sensor for the net. We have it's a local live court. The system will call on the ball. We also have the video review. If you want to review something, let me know as soon as you can. TV changeover. There will be shot clock on the back fence here and there, +2 here at the net. What else? Boxes for towels all around with number 1 and 2. You take number 1, you take number 2. You have any questions? So it's gonna be WTA or trophy? Trophy? Trophy. Serve? Have a good match.
Very quick to answer that as well. Eala winning the toss and electing to serve first. Once again, perhaps showcasing her belief and her confidence. This is going to be absolutely fascinating, isn't it? Playing against one of her idols, someone who was there at her graduation when she was able to graduate from the Rafa Nadal Academy. She's been talked about for a fair while as a very talented young junior, Alexandra Eala. And finally that potential has been reached this tournament, although she did get a walkover in the previous round. As for Swiatek, well, it took her over 2 hours to get the better of Elina Svitolina in very humid conditions late on a couple of evenings ago. It came through in straight set 7-6, 6-3. Winner of this one will play the winner of the match between Emma Raducanu and Jess Pegula. That's an 11 p.m. start GMT, 7 p.m. local time, one not to be missed as well. But as I was mentioning, what a talented junior Alexandra Eala was, and a very talented young player. She actually appeared at Roland Garros Juniors as a very young 13-year-old and reached the semi-finals as a very young 15-year-old before going on to win the US Open a couple of years later. So there's been chatter about her. She's won a couple of doubles titles on the junior circuit. But here in Miami, it's just been incredible. Beat Volynets in round 1. And then got the better of Yelena Ostapenko, of course, former Roland Garros champion, and then defeated Madison Keys before that walkover against Paula Badosa. For you, though, Pippa, I mean, now playing one of her idols, she mentioned in one of her interviews she's just been able to stay in her bubble. She doesn't want to change her mindset at all. How difficult might that have been, the fact that she had a walkover? So it's a lot of time to think.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what she's done so brilliantly. I think, you know, the members of her team are going to be absolutely key in making that happen, because there has been a lot of chatter. You know, she's the first player from the Philippines to beat a top 10 player. She's had to do multiple interviews and talk about her success, but she's been very clear and very poised in her approach, in that she is prioritizing her tennis. That is the number one focus for her right now.
And it's going to have to be very good today, isn't it, against Iga Swiatek? We've done a few of Iga's matches this week. What have you made of her journey through to the quarterfinals?
Yeah, you know, I think she's got better and better each match. She hasn't lost a set so far in this tournament. Straight sets wins over Caroline Garcia and then Elisa Mertens, followed by, of course, that tough battle with Alina Svitolina, which was actually over 2 hours. That one was 2 hours and 5 minutes. And as you mentioned, really, really difficult conditions for her, because it was humid, it was heavy, it was tough to hit through Svitolina. She has such brilliant movement. But as she mentioned in her interview at the end, she was really pleased with how she raised her game in the key moments. And that, for me, has been a bit of a pattern so far this week for Swiatek.
Well, no surprise it is a first meeting. Pierre Bacchi is the man who will look after this one in the chair. One thing that's going to be absolutely fascinating is going to be how Eala handles the Swiatek serve. She handled the Madison Keys serve impeccably, incredibly, won 54% of points off Keys' first serve. So will she have those sort of numbers today? It's another nice sunny day. Of course, we had a lot of rain this time yesterday, 4-hour delay. But most of the clouds are white and wispy, and still see a fair amount of blue sky. The forecast for the rest of the day is meant to be dry.
And look, I think it's undeniable that today is going to be a bit of a step up for Eala compared to all of the matches she's played so far in Miami. Swiatek, as we know, is a 5-time Grand Slam champion, and I think she's hungry because she hasn't won a title yet this season. She's a former champion in Miami. She's talked about how much she likes the conditions, and as I mentioned, she's yet to lose a set this week. You know, she's playing good tennis. I think she's adapted nicely to the conditions, coming from, of course, Indian Wells. That sometimes does take a little bit of time as well.
And it's funny, isn't it, with Swiatek, because a lot of the chatter this year has been her underachieving, and yet she still leads the tour with 21 match wins, along with Arina Sabalenka, who, of course, won last night and is in the semi-finals. That's where Swiatek wants to be here at the Miami Open, as a former champion, of course, winning here in 2022. It's been quite simply a magical fortnight for Alexandra Eala. She's taken down 2 Grand Slam champions. Can she add a third in this quarterfinal here on Stadium Court? Bound to be a few nerves. Safe to say, hasn't really shown too many nerves in those previous match wins against Ostapenko and Madison Keys. Playing against one of her idols this afternoon in Iga Swiatek. Just to let you know how good Iga Swiatek's record is at this level. This is her 22nd WTA 1000 quarterfinal. She's trying to reach a 20th WTA 1000 semi-final. Incidentally, Pippa Horn alongside myself, Pete Rogers, we will talk you through this first quarterfinal of the day. Later on, 7 p.m. local time, 11 p.m. GMT, Raducanu will face Pegula. Winner of that one faces the winner of this one. Oh, that's some return. You could clearly see Eala expecting the cross-court return. We know if you've seen Eala throughout the week, she's not afraid to get on the front foot to dictate the play. She's talked a lot about her biggest improvements coming in her physicality.
Yeah, she's also got that lefty advantage, doesn't she? Naturally generates those very wide angles and awkward spins.
Well, Roger, number 2. Thank you.
We've been listening to the multiple interviews that Eala has given because, of course, she's had extra time with that walkover against Badosa. I have to say, she sounded so grounded. Spoken in a very honest manner, saying she's had opportunities in the past to play big names, but perhaps she wasn't quite ready. She's had to work incredibly hard to get the success.
And that's the shot that has been on fire for Swiatek so far in this tournament. She's already the player with the most backhand winners at the Miami Open this year.
I think that will be a key shot for Eala, that backhand up the line, because certainly Swiatek has made a lot more unforced errors off the forehand wing, so to be able to catch her out by targeting the backhand like that would be vitally important, and couldn't have done it any better there.
Yeah, her backhand is super compact, isn't it? And as a result of that, she's able to absorb pace and, as you mentioned, really redirect the ball.
Yes. Let for service.
Is the exchange that Swiatek will be happy to get into.
I do think that first serve percentage is going to be so important today for Eala. It's not a huge weapon of hers, the serve. It perhaps does lack a little bit of power and penetration at this level of the game. Of course, she is inexperienced in these sorts of matches.
Because prior to this tournament, we've only won 2 main draw matches on the WTA Tour.
Yes. Advantage, Eala.
important do you feel this first game is for Eala here? It's bound to be nerves, isn't there?
I mean, it didn't look like she was particularly nervous in the way that she was carrying herself when she walked out onto court. And at the end of the day, she's going out here with absolutely nothing to lose. Whatever happens in this match today, she'll take some positives from it.
A shot there of her family and her coach. She's won a lot of fans here, Eala, I think just because of the way she's emotionally showcased herself. I think if you get the chance to see online the match win and match point against Madison Keys and her reaction, it was a joy to behold, jumping into the stands and hugging her coach and family. It's a fine return, catches the line, and the ideal start for Swiatek. Breaks in the first game.
You can. If you want, you can ask them. They know that you have the number one.
Well, if you were able to watch Swiatek's match against Svitolina, it's one of the most unusual patterns I've ever seen. 16 straight games were won from the same side. Svitolina was certainly aware of it. I'm not sure whether Swiatek was. And then, actually, it's shifted. The last 6 games were won from the far side. So it was such a bizarre encounter against the Ukrainian. As I say, those 16 straight games were won from the near side, so that's where Swiatek has won her first game this afternoon.
And there wasn't really a great deal of wind, was there? I mean, it was pretty humid and heavy conditions, but winds-wise...
And it's not like with other matches we've seen most of the games being won from one side compared to the other, so very unusual, but I wonder whether there is something for Swiatek at this far side.
Iga Swiatek to serve.
And so often here in Miami at this time of day, specifically, you've got half of the court in shadow, half of the court in sun.
Late for service. Love 15.
She really enjoyed listening to Eala's interviews because although she's only 19 years old, she has a wisdom that is well beyond her years. She talks about her family a lot as well, so clearly a very grounded person.
I know you stole a line from her earlier on, so I'm going to do the same, because she said, my family are my rock and my constant in the chaos of becoming a tennis player, which I really like. I mean, she's got a job in broadcasting if she, if she doesn't quite hit the heights in tennis. But yeah, she said that they've always been her inspiration.
And she moved away from her family, didn't she, when she was just 13 years old, to go and train at the Rafael Nadal Academy. It's a big move to make as a 13-year-old, all the way from the Philippines.
That's brilliant from Swiatek. Able to find angles that others simply can't.
Yeah, this one even more effective because she'd pushed Eala so deep behind the baseline, then it exposed that front section of the court.
This is why there's so much excitement around Alexandra Eala. Out-hitting and out-playing Swiatek from the back of the court and then finishing with aplomb at the front.
And just being very patient in her approach as well, and the way that she's constructing points. She's not going to be used to this many balls coming back. She needs a greater level of patience today. But she's certainly showcasing that in abundance right now.
Something that we saw from Swiatek, against Svitolina in particular, and in truth throughout the week, she made the big points very well. And on cue once more. As Pippa pointed out a few moments ago, the backhand has been devastating all tournament.
Yes.
With the right also.
Very humid conditions, so players have been taking their time to towel down. A lot of players sweating a lot this fortnight.
Yeah, what's interesting to me as well is Swiatek was saying that actually she finds the courts a little bit quicker this year compared to when she won a few years ago back in 2022.
I think it's been almost a nice combination, hasn't it, with the humidity being so high. The balls are fluffed up a little more, but then you've got quicker courts, so
yeah.
it's sort of allowed all different types of players to have success.
Yes.
Two long juice games to start this quarter-final. Earlier on, her returning statistics were out of this world, really, against Madison Keys in the third round for Eala.
Yeah, she broke Keys on 6 occasions, didn't she? The American finishing with 51 unforced errors against only 22 winners, whereas Eala was much more efficient. 13 winners to 21 unforced errors.
Just wide, and Eala breaks straight back. And again, the body language she's showcasing just shows how confident she is right now. Full of belief.
And that's exactly what she was talking about when she defeated Keys. She said she knew she could win from the moment she walked out onto court.
But either having Tony Nadal watching on, kind of tough to recognise Tony Nadal without sunglasses. He's been part of the Nadal Academy, he is such a big part of.
And she spent lots of time on court with Rafa himself as well.
Let first service.
I mentioned that it's a famous graduation photo alongside Rafa Nadal and Iga Swiatek. She did actually get to hit with Swiatek as a 13-year-old as well. Something that I'm sure he would have set up. What do you think that's like for Eala? Someone like Tony Nadal sat in your camp.
I think it's absolutely incredible to have people of, this prestige in her corner. Clearly all of these guys massively believe in her.
Already a megastar as well back in the Philippines. Just give them a nod as well. All those staying up to watch her. It's 1:30 a.m. in the morning in the Philippines right now.
There's some interesting feedback from Wim Fizet there. It's been a very consistent message from him all week whilst Iga has been on court. He's talked about intensity and he's talked about adjusting her feet.
Vicious return.
30-40.
Thumping it away.
So that's the area that Swiatek will really need to capitalise that second serve, because it does just lack a little bit of bite. This one sat up nicely right in her strike zone.
Third straight juice game.
Estaba bien que patine.
Advantage, yeah.
Un poquito menos, pero mejor ritmo.
It's been a little bit inconsistent so far, hasn't it, from Swiatek?
Your shoulder a little bit more and go low and finish your shot. Most important, finish your shot. Point by point. Come on.
Already 11 unforced errors from the pole.
Well, she's spoken over the last week about her belief and backing herself, Eala. And if the first 3 games are anything to go by, that belief will have grown that she can perhaps cause yet another upset. The Filipino is 2-1 in front in this opening set.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want. So give me all the scars, I'm a human being. Cover them with tattoos so you can't see. Knew it from the start, you had problems with me and the things I could be, I just wish I had seen. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own.
About her family, and thankfully she was swift to act, reporting the individual. The tournament has then since dealt with him. It was on Saturday. It's believed that the individual transitioned from a lot of abuse online to then doing it in person. So that can't have been comfortable for the poll. It's interesting really that the press only found out about it today. Oh, it's a scintillating forehand from Eala.
Yeah, she has had a lot to deal with, Swiatek, hasn't she, off the court. All started with that doping suspension at the back end of last year. And then, of course, the incident in Indian Wells with the ball kid, where she was heavily criticised.
Very happy with what they're seeing so far.
Let yourselves.
It's a lovely combination. It has been the forehand that has been very hit and miss all fortnight for Swiatek.
And this is a pattern of play that Swiatek would be very smart to keep going after. That serve out wide to the backhand of Eala and then into the open space.
Another stunning forehand up the line by Eala.
Such good disguise on that forehand as well. She almost sets up as if she's going to hit it cross court and then redirects, threads that needle down the line with so much power, so much precision.
Advantage Swiatek.
Only 3 games on the board. It's only been half an hour. There certainly aren't any signs that Eala is intimidated against one of her idols. Again, taking the ball on with real confidence. Double.
Advantage Eala.
Another chance for Eala to get another break.
Yeah, she struggled behind the second serve so far in this match. Swiatek, she's won only 2 points behind the second delivery. Much of that, I think, is the Eala intimidation factor. She's thumping those second serve returns.
It's a 3rd straight game for Eala. What a start by the Filipino.
It has been a fabulous start, hasn't it? And she's playing with so much poise, but also so much freedom. It's reminding me of Emma Raducanu, US Open 2021. Just seems like a bit of a free spirit out there on court.
She also didn't drop a set on the way to the title. Talking of Emma Raducanu, in action later on tonight. Raducanu taking on Jess Pegula. Start of the evening session. That's 11 p.m. GMT, 7 p.m. local time. Winner of that one plays the winner of this one.
About 15.
Concerned. Should Swiatek be right now?
Well, I think the pattern so far this week for Swiatek is that she hasn't panicked and she has been able to find answers. She is playing an opponent who has started absolutely brilliantly.
She mentioned in her win over Mertens that she was most pleased with her patience after really struggling with her first serve percentage in the first set against the Belgian. She mentioned the word patience as well against Svitolina, saying she had to be patient to wait for the opportunities and the right opportunities. It's fabulous. Super response from the second seed. Gets the break straight back. Tough to know which way each game is going to go right now. Eala leading 3-2 in this opening set.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
They're gonna check, but I'm not sure you can use this on course. Yeah, this one.
The opening 5 games. Swiatek still yet to hold serve. She'll be hoping that changes here. Serving 2-3. Oh, wow. Such a pure strike. So good with the linear strike too, either off the forehand or the backhand. Incidentally, there was a bit of a development at the sit-down, if you weren't with us. Becky just checking that there was something seemingly in Eala's bag, or she's been using, whether or not she could have it on court. So they were just checking with an official. Entirely sure what it was. Some return again, onto it in a flash.
Well, she's still learning the ropes at this level, isn't she? She hasn't played a great deal of WTA level tournaments. Last year she was predominantly competing on the ITF circuit, which is just a level beneath the WTA tour.
Oh, quite incredible. What a game from Eala. Breaks to love. Talked about how she dismantled the Madison Keys serve. Well, she's doing the same to Iga Swiatek right now.
I hoped we were going to see that last return of serve again, because she has such an aggressive positioning behind it, doesn't she? She's striking them every time from well inside the baseline, and as a result of that, Swiatek has absolutely no time to react.
Don't rush. Go back and hit it with the impact cross. Keep it simple. Come on. No, but yeah, but there are like 1,000 things.
She is absolutely punishing those forehand down the lines, striking them with such poise. It's a really good tactic as well, because Swiatek's hit 17 unforced errors and 15 of them have been on the forehand.
That's been the trouble all week. Right now, looks a little rattled.
Yeah, and that's why she needs to change direction as soon as she possibly can. Get it to the Swiatek forehand. She's clearly rushing, as we just heard Wim Fizet, her coach, referring to, telling her to take some time, go back to basics.
7 points in a row for Eala. Make it 8 points in a row. She's a game away from taking this opening set. Is the dream about to get even better? Leads the world #2 by 5 games to 2 in the first set.
I'm gonna.
Confirm you cannot use it.
It's confirmed you cannot use it.
Ellen and I want to go on vacation, so I'm going to go back to last week. Finally, can I come? Call her for more. How long you can come? Sit down my lap like last time, Ronald. Fine. But I'm reading this.
Or you can try one of these options.
The right money to try this one, actually. There it is. See? Told you how it'll work out. Thanks for giving.
There's got to be a fair amount of concern here for Iga Swiatek. He was referencing 17 unforced errors. I have to say this week, I feel I've been a little harsh on the unforced errors. I think they've started to record missed returns in that area, which I think is a good thing in certain returns, but maybe some returns are being included. They maybe shouldn't.
Well, you've got unforced errors, and then you've also got forced errors, don't you? And it's a bit of a grey area. It can sometimes be difficult to categorise them.
I feel here in Miami this fortnight, some of those forced errors have been marked in the unforced error column. It's rare we've seen more winners than unforced errors. Balls here flying for Swiatek. That's magnificent. And a little alarming that Swiatek didn't even run for it. Just wonder whether everything's okay right now with the pole.
Yeah, this has actually been the second time this match that Swiatek has not even attempted to run down a ball.
It was a lovely combination. The drop shot wasn't that close to the net. It's fairly deep in the service box.
What I feel has been the most concerning about these unforced errors that Swiatek is accumulating is actually the manner in which she's hitting them. She's missing by quite a big margin.
Credit to Eala. I mean, she's given very little away. Nothing coming easy right now for the 2022 Miami Open champion. And here is a set point for the 19-year-old. Alexandra Eala is doing it again. Having already beaten 2 Grand Slam champions, she's a set away from adding a third and a set away from the semi-finals here at the Miami Open. Takes the opening set in fabulous fashion, 6-2 in 43 minutes.
And you know what? I absolutely love that lack of reaction. I think it just says so much about how much belief she has, and we talked about that when she walked out onto court. She was composed, she was poised, but she was walking with so much confidence. And Swiatek has a lot of questions to ask herself and a lot to figure out in this bathroom break.
Take one in the good shape, spin fast into the cross and then take down line, make her move.
Trick question, right?
Yeah, but then go back, quick feet back, and like have good shape, fast hands, get the spin on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's clearly in relation to the forehand. Good shape, keep it simple, fast hands, get the spin. Basically asking for bigger margins on the forehand because, well, there were a lot of forehand unforced errors in that opening set. 16 in total, Pippa.
Yeah, and you know, as much as we want to talk about Swiatek maybe being a little bit under par at the moment with, well, now there's 19 unforced errors. I mean, what an absolutely incredible set of tennis from Alexandra Eala. She was dominant from start to finish. First serve percentage, 75%, so making a lot of first serves, really dominant, particularly with that forehand down the line. So of those 10 winners, 8 of them were off the forehand wing. She was on the front foot from the moment she walked out onto court today, punishing those Swiatek second serve returns and really dictating proceedings from the very first shot in the rally. Very impressive, but it's now going to be about, can she hold her nerve and can she continue down this path?
Well, I totally agree with you, Pippa. I thought it was a great point you made about the reaction at the end of that set from Eala. And as we've been reiterating, she said that, you know, the main reason she's been able to beat these top-ranked opponents this fortnight has been because she truly does believe in her own abilities. She said a lot of that has come from her team. And a lot of it has come from the hard work that she's put in to now be in a position to beat these players that perhaps, you know, a couple of years ago she was expecting she would beat, because she's been much talked about in junior tennis for a long time. All that work on the physicality. And she looks like a player right now who has been in this position countless times before. Yet this is her first ever quarterfinal at WTA Tour level, and she's done it in a huge event. It's the WTA 1000 tournament.
Yeah, she absolutely has. I think with her it was a case of when, rather than if she would make that breakthrough. She's risen through the junior ranking. She's a former junior US Open champion. And is a very complete player as well. We've seen that in the way that she's dominated proceedings out here already today against a former world number one, a 5-time Grand Slam champion. I mean, she is absolutely in control right now.
The other thing to mention, by the way, whatever it was that she wasn't allowed to use, she's been told she's not allowed to use it. So I don't know what it is by her bag, by the way. But the other thing is, if she wins this match, okay, reaches a WTA 1000 semi-final, huge achievement anyway. But she would go inside the world's top 100, which is such a massive landmark to get past. At the moment, she's 102 in the live rankings, would go to 75. That's a massive jump.
Yeah, and she's talked about how, you know, she's not getting ahead of herself. She's trying to, as you mentioned, keep in that bubble. Clearly her family helping her do that, but she's relishing each step in the journey rather than, in her words, making each milestone a destination. She's process driven, in my view, rather than focusing on those outcome related goals.
You actually find out why there's been WTA supervisors on the court to discuss what's been allowed to be used and not.
Doesn't look like Eala is particularly bothered.
Taking everything in her stride. Iga Swiatek returns. What's she got to do differently here? Do you agree with win for set? Bigger margins, just put a lot more spin on the forehand. She's got to get confidence back in that shot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, making those changes on the forehand. But if she still doesn't find that rhythm off the forehand wing, then she has to find a way to get the ball on her backhand, because actually that's been by far the more stable shot of the two off the ground for her. Let's see how she can respond.
Help. It's the first time she's dropped a set all week, but it's had a lot of competitive sets. Like a long time ago that Swiatek just used to breeze through matches on the WTA Tour. Players have worked out how to play against her.
And of course, that's absolutely a factor at play here in this matchup as well, because Eala is such a new kid on the block, and when you are so new, people haven't yet figured out how to play you. That was the case with Raducanu, being so young when she won the US Open.
Linear strike again is doing plenty of damage.
Like Swiatek's got to expect this forehand line, because Eala is redirecting at the first possible opportunity. Just feels like Swiatek's constantly just not expecting it, which is a bit odd to me.
40-30.
Oh, it's electric tennis. Rinse and repeat as far as Alexandra Eala is concerned. She takes the first game of the second set.
That was so important, wasn't it? Continuing all that momentum she acquired in the first set, continuing into the second set. I mean, she is just brimming with confidence at the moment. And actually what's been so impressive, not just today, but throughout her time in Miami, is the manner in which she's won all of the matches that she has. If you look at the score lines, straight sets against Katie Volynets, 7-6, 7-5 against Ostapenko, 4-2 against Madison Keys. Keys, of course, being an Australian Open champion.
I mean, when you look at Ostapenko and Keys in particular, the size of ball they hit as well is big, and I think this is what she means when she's talked about working on her physicality. It just doesn't seem like you can force her off the ball or get her onto the back foot. The core strength is something to behold. It's a different type of ball that Swiatek hits, where there's a lot of revelations, fizzes off the court, that she's not been pushed onto that back foot very often. Her ability to redirect, so impressive.
Estamos mismo, ¿no?
Once again, Eala just taking a whole chunk of time away from the world number 2. That aggressive court positioning behind the serve.
The forehand flies long for Swiatek.
I feel that Eala as well is doing such a good job of neutralizing the Swiatek first serve. If you look at how many points she won behind her first serve in the opening set, just 9 points.
This is something we've talked about, and she's talked about a lot. Showing a bit more emotion. Saw that in Indian Wells. Saw it in an opening round win over Garcia as well. Just mentioned how she's sometimes criticised for being robotic by not showing emotion, but then has criticism when she does. She's clearly not happy right now, as these pictures show. And one of the reasons she's not happy is because her opponent continues to hit winners left, right and centre.
And it's not just the attacking side of her game, it's the way that she's defending, the way that she's counter-punching as well, just refusing to take a step back, holding her ground, hovering on the baseline.
Oh, wow. Well, most of the winners have come up the line, but that one was a blistering cross-court angle off the backhand wing. A delight to behold. And the purple patch just keeps on running. Breaks for a 2-love lead.
And again, absolutely no reaction from Eala. She is a picture of composure and poise and confidence right now. I think her box are getting more excited than she is.
I mean, right now it's Eala dictating. I mean, what can Swiatek do, Pippa?
To get more spin, more spin.
Well, first off, I mean, sometimes it's just a case of riding the wave, hoping that your opponent is going to maybe lose their focus a little bit, but she maybe needs to disrupt the rhythm of Eala. I mean, her forehand is firing on all cylinders, so get the ball on the backhand. Very few holes in Eala's game.
Yeah, feels like the wave is here to stay.
Well, one thing I do think she can do is maybe take control of the point a little bit more behind the Eala serve, because I mean, it does have a little bit of spin on it, but it's not particularly penetrating.
Oh, that's more like it from Swiatek. No reaction from the pole. Type of shot that we've seen throughout the years from the 5-time major champion. Body language-wise, though, just doesn't look quite right.
And that's exactly what I was referring to. Stepping in, injecting pace of the Eala serve.
Todo normal, vamos.
It's your time now. Come on.
Better from Swiatek. Gets the break back and stops the rock. Encouragement from her team. It's the first game in 6 for the second seed.
You're too good. Skill play is such an essential role in that. In my 50s, I have never felt more confident or beautiful. Extreme Cream has become my go-to skincare product, giving me great skin days every single day. It's one of the most effective, clinically proven ingredients that going to be found and utilize my skin. There's no compromise. The science is there. The luxurious texture is there. And the result, speak for themselves.
Talked about Swiatek's body language not perhaps looking like what we're used to seeing it, but perhaps a reason for that. Hasn't lost to a player outside the world's top 100 since 4 years ago here in Miami. Lost to Anna Konya, who at the time was ranked outside the world's top 300. So this is something that is very rare if she is to lose. Still time to turn it around.
Yeah, I would love to know the last time she hit more than double unforced errors to her opponent. She's currently hit 22 to Eala's 8. Not something you see too frequently from Swiatek.
Incidentally, those that may have been wondering what has happened to Anna Konya, has had multiple injury issues, but is still playing. She's in qualifying Miami Open. Lost in qualifying to Lara Siegmund. The timely aces in a row. Needs a few more of those, Swiatek.
Much better placement on the second serve as well, but honestly, she's not served badly. Swiatek, her stats are pretty decent so far. 3 aces, 70% of first serves made. She's just struggled to win points behind the first serve, and that's because of the way that Eala is neutralizing on the return. That's a perfect example.
40. For the first time today, Swiatek is able to hold serve. And it's taken a long time. Perhaps signs of a recovery for the second seed. Interesting to see as well there, Daria, with the psychologist, some information she needs to give to Rinfose.
And you can tell that she's just trying to take on that serve a little bit more, Swiatek. She shifted her court positioning behind the return. A couple of small steps forward.
We found her mark with some better returns in this game. Swiatek, chance for her to win a third straight game. It is a third straight game for Swiatek. Finding some awesome returns in that game. Perhaps the comeback is on. Leads 3-2 in the second set.
Go next. Come on.
Come on.
So Swiatek with her nose in front in this second set. So 3-2.
Good shot, good shot. Vamos, Alex.
Well, one thing that Swiatek has done consistently well this week is she's found solutions mid-match. We saw that against number 27th seed Elisa Mertens when she had a really low first serve percentage in that first set and then made some changes in the second.
Bravo, Alex. Mano fuerte.
context of Swiatek's year, how important is this match right now when you consider hasn't made a final since the French Open last year?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because although she hasn't won a title, she is still the tour leader in matches won in 2025. So it certainly hasn't been a bad season. It's the classic question of how do you define success? Is it rankings? Is it titles won? And she's also had a lot to deal with off the court. That's something we discussed a little bit earlier today.
I just feel if she doesn't win the title here, going into the clay court swing with a bit of extra pressure, right? As in it would be almost a year since she last even reached the final.
And she's going to have a lot of points to back up in the clay court season, and a lot of expectation on herself as well. And confidence is built by consistently winning matches.
She is to win this match and is to win the title here in Miami. Of course, got to turn this match around first. I would imagine this would be one of her best wins as a title goes. So many times she's sort of breezed through the draw in tournaments. As every single match she is having to work for it here, as you say, with all the issues that she's had off the court. She is continuing to problem solve in this encounter. Fourth straight game now for Swiatek. Leads 4-2, second set. Remember Roger Federer talking a lot about how the days when you're 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, those are easy days. But when you're 5 or 6 out of 10, those are the most rewarding wins. You've got to find solutions, you've got to hang in there, you've got to dig in.
Yeah, we had this conversation yesterday, didn't we, when we were commentating on Paolini against Magdalene, and Paolini obviously had that fantastic win 6-4 in the third against Naomi Osaka, and it just gave her so much confidence winning a tight 3-set match where she had to battle so hard and really find answers.
That's a good point, because even though Swiatek hasn't dropped a set this week until today, she has had 3 very tight sets. So she is more battle-hardened than we're used to.
Yeah, you almost sometimes don't necessarily want to breeze through the first rounds of a tournament, winning love and one, love and love.
Still a better game from Eala. How much that left thigh, left upper leg injury is causing a nuisance.
Well, she did have an injury timeout against Madison Keys. She will have had a few days to recover since Badosa obviously withdrew in her previous match.
Big reaction. It's probably the biggest reaction we've seen from the Filipino. A look of relief as well. First game in 5. Keeps this second set close, albeit Swiatek leading 4-3.
time.
Really difficult to tell which way this quarterfinal is going to turn next. A reminder, the second quarterfinal of the day, Raducanu against Pegula, 11 p.m. GMT, 7 p.m. local time. Not to be missed. The winner of this one will face the winner of that one. Right now, Swiatek serving 4-3.
Love 15.
I missed it. You worry about with Swiatek, didn't seem to get up to the ball. Again, missed by some distance with the forehand. It seems an area though that she has tidied up a little. The second set, takes no forced errors off that wing. Unforced errors in the first set on the forehand. That was just a 6th in the second set.
Oh, that might just be a little indication into the mind of Iga Swiatek right now. She is clearly feeling the pressure.
Just pulled it. And on cue. I mean, who knows where this second set is going. Suddenly the momentum shifting in Eala's direction as the Philippines flag flies proud.
It's been a very momentum-fueled match, hasn't it? Both players winning a number of games in a row. Of course, Eala was 2-love up in this second set. Then she went 3-2 down, so 3 games in a row for Swiatek. 4 games in a row,
it was 4-2? Yeah.
Lovely game.
All of a sudden, though, the finish line in sight here for Eala. Just 2 games away from the biggest win of her career.
feel like that Eala serve has just dropped a little bit in pace and power. It's not the most powerful serve as is. That one only 76 miles per hour.
Yeah, dropped the first serve percentage to 75% first set, down to 60% in the second set. There's more on that one, but Swiatek was ready for it. And this, in truth, hasn't been the best of games from Eala. Brilliant backhand from Swiatek. And we get another twist late on in this second set, as the Pole will have the chance to serve out the second set in a few moments' time. Breaks for a 5-4 lead.
Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
Time.
Come on, Iga. Big serve. Let's go. Big serve in the open court. Let's go.
So simple instructions from Winterset there. Come on, Iga. Big serve, open court. So I imagine that means hit the slider out wide to open the court. Serving for the second set. 5-4. Did exactly that, went to the open court, although the initial serve wasn't out wide.
No, come on, big serve, here we go. Yeah, push up.
Muchas piernas.
Transition from deep in the court, so quick to get up to the baseline, Eala.
it's the depth she's getting and the way that she's neutralizing that Swiatek first serve. Gets herself back into the point, and then she can make that transition forwards.
Again, the confidence to play the drop shot. And even though, as you were saying earlier, Pippa, from Swiatek's point of view and many of the pro players, they don't quite know how to play Eala. What they might be doing is copying how she is dismantling all these great servers' serves. The amount of return games she's been able to win this week. Win another one here. 2 break points. Only needs the one, and we go on in the second set.
And no reaction. She is taking it all in her stride. Very much has the expectation that this match is hers. She certainly believes, and she has done from the moment she walked out onto this stadium court.
It's tough to differentiate which coach is saying what, because Daniel Gomez in Eala's box, but I think that was win for set. Again, talking about legs with Iga Swiatek. In terms of getting that intensity.
Yeah, and that's been the consistent message. Intensity, adjusting her feet, and going back to basics.
It's all in the legs, Iga. Come on.
There you go, all in the legs.
Pero que patine, ¿eh? Primera pelota rápida, va.
Let's go. We're right in this match. Come on. Okay, let's go. Come on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm not quite sure how much she's enjoying this feedback from Fizette right now. And even though the Eala serve doesn't have a great deal of pace behind it, it does have a lot of movement. That was a point that you made, Pete, earlier today, and you can see it sort of swirling in the air. Swiatek struggling with that.
It's been an amazing thing. One of the many amazing things, the amount of missed returns. And we've been talking about it even off air. The pace of the Eala serve isn't too quick, particularly the second serve. It's around 70 mile per hour average. And Swiatek has really struggled to deal with it. There's obviously a little bit of movement there. She hasn't been able to get to grips with consistently. She's a game away. Will her remarkable journey continue? Eala holds for a 6-5 lead. Some stunned faces in the crowd. She's looked so composed throughout this encounter. Alexandra Eala just at the sit down there, eyes were shut, pointed to her head. Swiatek has been broken 7 times in this encounter. The only match this year that she's been broken more than that was at the Australian Open. And that semi-final defeat to Madison Keys. But if Eala breaks here, it's another monumental upset. Excellent way to start the game, though, for Swiatek, serving to stay in the match. Solid hitting from Eala. And once again, it's the forehand that breaks down for Swiatek. The fans, I think, didn't expect this today. But here are 2 match points for the world number 140. Alexandra Eala's dream run continues. She completes a hat-trick of wins over Grand Slam champions. And this, the best of the lot, as she takes down the world number 2 and 5-time major champion Iga Swiatek to make the Miami Open semi-final. Incredible. And you can understand the disbelief on her face. She'd only ever won 2 WTA matches coming into the Miami Open. And now she's in the semi-finals of a WTA 1000 tournament. Quite amazing. Once again, a phenomenal display of attacking tennis, of core strength, but mostly of great belief and composure as she defeats Iga Swiatek in straight sets, 6-2, 7-5 to make the last four.
Oh my goodness, that was simply stunning, wasn't it? She was a picture of poise, of presence, of self-assurance. Swiatek, I think, will be understandably disappointed with her performance today, but it was Alexandra Eala's stage. Her third Grand Slam champion defeated here in Miami. And it's just baffling to me that she did manage to remain so composed, bearing in mind she was clearly so emotional at the end there. Wow.
Can she go all the way? It's never happened here, a wildcard making the final. She has gone the furthest that a wildcard has ever gone by making the semi-finals, along with Justine Henin in 2010 and Victoria Azarenka in 2018. And no wonder Miami has her heart. What an extraordinary achievement.
She's almost in disbelief at the end, but from start to finish she was so poised, wasn't she? And she really did believe she could do it.
Well, for those who stayed up in Manila, it would have been worth it for them. It's 10 to 3 a.m. back in the Philippines. She is, well, turning into an absolute megastar. She'll become a top 100 player as well. That's guaranteed. We'll move to 75 in the world rankings. I mean, who saw this coming? We're struggling to win back-to-back matches at ITF level coming into the tournament.
Alex, I have so many questions for you, but first of all, Jelena Ostapenko, Grand Slam champion, Madison Keys, Grand Slam champion, Iga Swiatek, 5 times a Grand Slam champion. You have beaten all of them to make it into this round at the tournament. I mean, to the semifinals. It's spectacular.
I don't know what to say. I'm in complete just disbelief right now, and I'm on cloud 9. So thank you everybody who came to watch, and thanks to everyone who's watching from home.
I'm holding on my phone right now a photograph of you graduating the Rafael Nadal Academy. Iga Swiatek is next to you in that photograph. In your wildest dreams, did you think that you would beat her 2 years later and that you would be standing on one of the biggest stages in tennis?
It's so surreal because I feel like I'm the exact same person that I was in that photo. But of course, circumstances have changed, and I'm so happy and so blessed to be able to compete with such a player on this stage.
When you take a look at your game today, your serve, the way you were moving Iga around the court, what do you think it was about the way you played today that made it possible for this victory?
That's a heavy question. I don't know. My coach told me to run, to go for every ball, take all the opportunities I can, because 5-time Grand Slam champion is not gonna give you the win.
Very emotional for you, very emotional for your camp today. Will you remember this day for the rest of your life? It is the biggest day of your career here at the Miami Open.
It's forever in my heart.
And you're forever in our hearts. Way to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Eala. Let's hear it for Alex. Will you sign some tennis balls?
Seems so grounded, so refreshing as well to witness just what it means to her. We saw the amazing celebrations after she beat Madison Keys, jumping into the crowd, hugging all of her family and coach. It was more of a reaction of disbelief, as if she can't believe she's made it through. But having said all of that, Pippa, I mean, watching her try and close out that match, it looked like she'd been there a million times before.
Yeah, it certainly did, and that was what was so baffling to me. You're absolutely right. It was a reaction of complete disbelief, but she was extremely self-assured. We saw that from the moment she walked out onto court today. That's what she said after her match against Madison Keys. I believed I could win, and she absolutely believed that she could beat Iga Swiatek today as well. I think she has a wisdom, doesn't she, that is well beyond her years. She was absolutely brilliant today. Even when she was 4-2 down, she didn't panic. She kept her composure. And boy, oh boy, that was some way to close it out.
As far as Iga Swiatek is concerned, where does she go now? I mean, it's got to be a bitter pill to swallow, losing a match like that. First time she's lost to a player outside the world's top 100 for 4 years.
Well, undoubtedly, she wasn't at her best today. 19 unforced errors in the first set. I think she actually may have, I need to have a look at the stats, but she may have actually doubled the total of Eala's unforced errors. And you know, we're not used to seeing that from Iga Swiatek, but it is difficult to maintain such a high level. You know, it's one thing winning Grand Slams, of course she has 5 of them, but to keep her position and to keep that level for a sustained period of time is a huge challenge, and I do think people underestimate that.
Yeah, there'll be many more questions to come as far as Swiatek is concerned. She'll turn her attention to the European clay court swing. As for Eala, talk us through the stats.
Well, there's confirmation of the number of unforced errors that Swiatek hit, 28. So she was a little bit out of sorts today, but that was Alexandra Eala's stage. She was absolutely fantastic. Off the serve, she neutralized the Swiatek first serve, was really aggressive off the Swiatek second serve. Finished with 16 winners. And of course, majority of those were off the forehand wing. She was really dominant, particularly in that first set, in hitting that forehand down the line. Fantastic performance.
It really was. I mean, just the 12 unforced errors, having more winners than unforced errors. I haven't seen that all that often this week, really throughout the whole tournament. Most players with more unforced errors than winners, but that just shows you how well Alexandra Eala is playing. Can she go the whole way? Well, to do that, she's going to have to get past either Emma Raducanu or Jess Pegula. They are up 7 p.m. local time. That's 11 p.m. GMT. And the winner of that one will play the winner of the match in the other semi-final between Sabalenka and Paolini. It's a fantastic last 5 players remaining, because it should be a brilliant quarterfinal later on tonight. And of course, all players are trying to get themselves in the mix for the WTA finals in Riyadh in November. But that feels like a long way off right now. But that is a damaging loss, you might say, to Swiatek's hopes of being there.